So now we come to the end of the Sermon on the Mount. This is Matthew chapter 7, verses 24 through 28. And it's commonly called the parable of the wise and foolish builders. Therefore, whoever hears these sayings of mine and does them, I will liken him to a wise man who built his house on the rock. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat on that house, and it did not fall, for it was founded on the rock. But everyone who hears these sayings of mine and does not do them will be like a foolish man who built his house on the sand. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat on that house, and it fell, and great was its fall. And so it was, when Jesus had ended these sayings, that the people were astonished at his teaching, for he taught them as one having authority and not as the scribes. So this is at the end of the Sermon on the Mount. And if I could sum it up in 2 words, do it. You got to do it. You have to put in the work. And the house is representative of the soul. This is the individual soul. So building it, this is the process of spiritual formation. So it's the inner work. You're aligning your will with God's will. Building on the rock. What is the rock? This is God. This is divine presence. So the rock, this symbolizes the eternal, unchanging reality of God. So mystically, it's the inner ground of being where one encounters God directly. So building on the rock, this just means rooting one's life in contemplation, surrender, and union with God's presence, access through Jesus's teachings. And the sand. So then the foolish man who built on the sand. What does that stand for? The sand is the egoic illusion. We live in a mind freak, materialistic illusion. So the sand represents the transient, illusory nature of the ego, worldly attachments, or superficial beliefs. So a life built on sand is one driven by fleeting desires, so that's vulnerable to collapse under spiritual trials. What are the storms? These are all the things that happen to us in life that can potentially get us crazy, some kind of existential crisis. But what are they? They're spiritual tests, really. So storms are to be used as spiritual purification. They're moments of a divine encounter that reveal the soul's true foundation. So these are opportunities for purification, stripping away these illusions to deepen our union with God. Whenever we have these storms, we must look at them first and say, Father, what are you trying to teach me? And then ask, why is this being done for me? Not to me, for me, so that I may learn and I may align God's will be done, not mine, my will with him on the rock. So the storms, these are spiritual purification. It's another opportunity to trust God. Acting on the word as a contemplative practice. So hearing and acting on Jesus' words, this is what he's talking about, doing it. This is not merely just ethical obedience, but it's a call to embody his teachings through contemplation, through prayer, through alignment, and divine love. So this transforms the soul into a house that reflects God's presence. Next, we have Jesus's authority as divine light. So the crowd is like, oh my gosh, this guy is speaking of his own authority. It's not like the scribes are teaching us this guy's different. So the crowd's awe, this points to Jesus as the living word, also called logos. Remember in the very beginning of John, in the beginning was the Word. This is Jesus. The Word was with God and the Word was God. So he radiates divine wisdom, and these people, they know it, they feel it. His authority invites the soul to awaken to its own divine spark. So this recognizes Jesus as both teacher and the inner reality to be realized. So this is at the very end. He's taught them, don't judge other people, forgive everybody. He taught us how to pray. All this he's saying at the end, he's saying, okay, now that you've heard it, what you going to do with it? Are you going to be the wise builder who built his house on the rock, someone who was obedient to Christ's teachings? Or are you going to be the foolish builder? You build on the sand. You hear it, but you don't do anything. So it's really a summary of the entire Sermon on the Mount, really. And it's a call to action. You got to do it. So mere admiration is not enough. So you have to put them into practice. So remember, be a doer of the word, not just a hearer. Build your house on the rock. The old song talks about on Christ the solid rock I stand. All other ground is sinking sand. All other ground is sinking sand. God loves you guys, and so do I. God bless you. Build that house on the rock, guys.